So everyone, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel and another video. I guess first thing to say, apologies. Whenever I have sort of plans or ideas of putting a regular series together, it never really kind of works out. But yeah, sort of priorities, I wouldn't say they changed, probably just took stock of what the priorities actually were. So which have been, rather than me whinging week in, week out, or at least that's how I remember it, last year, complaining about poor form and times not being what I expected or wanted them to be, instead of sort of making videos, I've actually been putting time into proper training. So just off on the back of about a 6-week VO2 sort of builder program, which I've quite enjoyed, and as a result, I was pretty pleased with my effort from this TT. So I'm not going to talk sort of yeah, the full 15 minutes on this one. I will just let the course kind of ride out, but very different to last year. So I was about 2.5 minutes down on same course, more or less a year to the day. But the conditions were very different. So last year it was pretty cold. I think that was on the 10th of April. The footage is actually on the channel, but I was using completely different equipment, and it's pretty horrible, to be honest. The footage looking back, not the smoothest of roads, but the camera makes it look more like a gravel ride for all you Trek Checkpoint fans out there. But yeah, last year it was pretty cold, but there was a very aggressive tailwind. So last year I think I was 9:17, and then this year was 11:32. So in fact that's not 2.5 minutes, is it? It's 2:15. But yeah, all that being said, last year it was the power output was just ridiculous, as in ridiculously low. So this was certainly more of an effort, and definitely a good workout, and actually to see whether or not that VO2 training and kind of prior to that spending more time doing endurance and stuff had paid off. So despite the poorer time year on year, I was actually pretty pleased with it. And this year I'm not going to kind of do the usual weekly, you know, same old route or the same old course. Certainly before I go on holiday, sort of end of June, early July, I'm going to pick and choose, and yeah, just keep building, and then that way try and sort of have more focused efforts. And that's really about it to say about this. It was only my second time actually riding this bike on the road since about September. So first time that I've used the 60-tooth chainring. In hindsight, probably should have gone back to the 58, so slightly smaller, simply because of the headwind. I think I'd have been okay if I'd have probably had some more time on it, because at some points you'll see my cadence is very low, especially for me. But I suppose you get away with that sort of 5 mile or so. And then otherwise, really, before I shut up, I do have 1 or 2 more videos planned over the next few weeks. Still desperately need to do the sort of follow-up Trek Checkpoint video now that it's gone through the winter. Have had to do a little bit of maintenance on that, which was unexpected, in an area that wasn't expected at least. So I'll talk around that when I kind of get time. Otherwise, I found a couple of very good niche little products, really minor things, but I'll save those for another day. TT related as well is the thing that I will say about it. And then otherwise, all being well, weather permitting, I've got a ride tomorrow which is completely different for me, or at least for a long time. And yeah, that's about it. So I hope you like the content. It will be a short one, this one, and yeah, it'll be useful for anybody who kind of wants to see this 5.2 mile course. This is the only hill, at least, where it's not more like a roller coaster, so you're sort of going down and then back up the other side. It is an enjoyable course, and thankfully the sun came out for us. So big thumbs up if you like the video, subscribe if you would like to see more, and thank you very much for watching.